Hello, and welcome back to my podcast, Awaken with Me, focused on all things health and wellness. We will discuss topics like implementing an anti inflammatory diet, self care routines, mindfulness, and creating better living habits. Hello, and welcome to Awaken with Me. Today we have a guest, Stephanie Shaw. She's a nutrition strategist who helps high performing midlife women get the body they deserve and the confidence they deserve. Stephanie helps these women peel back the layers of the intricate health puzzle down to the DNA and shows them precisely what to do. As a result, her clients lose and keep off their weight and build a sustainable lifestyle of confidence, energy, and love for their bodies. Stephanie, welcome to Awaken With Me podcast. Thank you for agreeing to be a guest.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm excited to speak with you today.
Yeah, so today I want to talk a little bit about the relationship between mindset, information, and the metabolism, and using food as a medicine.
Okay.
First, can you tell us a little bit about yourself and how you came into coaching?
Sure. I have an extensive corporate background. I spent about 20 years in corporate America working for a Fortune 500, like in public affairs, business affairs. And if I would have been watching way back then, I'm sure there are signs that were leading me up to my what I call big crash. After spending time in corporate, I also spent 10 years running an education nonprofit. It was a pipeline, and we concentrated on data and making sure that the students were prepared for college. But toward the end of that, my career at the running the nonprofit, I got really sick. I ended up at 18 different doctors, two world-renowned medical facilities, and over $20,000 out of pocket trying to figure out what was wrong with me. I had pretty much every symptom known to man, like tingling in my hands and feet, floaters from through my eyes, rapid heartbeat when I eat or walked upstairs, shortness of breath. That all that led to anxiety. It was a lot, and it was a lot for an extended period of time. For again, it was a little over 2 years. And so when I started well, first of all, I finally found a naturopath slash chiropractor. He was about 2,000 miles away from me, but he was able to help me figure out what was going on in my body. So after simply changing the way I ate, I think during the whole 2.5 years, I had one shot, which made me super sick. And then I probably took like 3 Tylenol. So I was refusing to take any medicine during that time. That's not for everyone, but that was just my stance on it.
Mhm.
After working with him and discovering that I personally did not have to take any prescription medication, all of my healing came with a lot of prayer, and it came with the way that I ate. So for my entire life, I've always wanted to do something in related to nutrition. So I decided while I was closing the nonprofit that I would go back and get certifications in nutrition, specifically holistic nutrition, and teach others what that doctor had taught me, that food truly is one of the best medicines out there. Once you discover like what foods you may not be tolerant of or foods that you may be sensitive to, if you eliminate those and you're eating really good whole food, I'm a witness that you can heal your body. And I've had tons and tons of clients do the same exact thing, just use food as their ultimate medicine.
Yeah, that's pretty interesting. So I have been learning about the connection between inflammation and maintaining good health.
Mhm.
And I recently began a transition to anti-inflammatory diet to help manage my autoimmune condition. So
Mhm.
can you tell us a bit about inflammation and how it impacts diseases and weight?
Yeah. So there's two types of inflammation. There's acute inflammation, and that is the inflammation that we want. So you get stung by a bee, it swells up, you need to take care of it. You get hit with something, swells up, you need to take care of it. We want those signs. We want the acute inflammation, but that's for a short period of time. What happens when we eat sugar, eat tons of meat protein, when we eat foods that are high in fat and high in sodium, um, after a period of time, we get what's called chronic inflammation. And chronic inflammation in the body is a precursor to a lot of different diseases. Not only do you tend to gain excess weight when you have chronic inflammation, you also, folks with diabetes, people with cancer, heart disease, all of those. Diseases come on by too much inflammation in the body. It's like your body is holding on to this extra weight or water or uh, all this extra stuff. It's going on inside of your body. That's very professional, isn't it? But I couldn't think of the word.
Mm-hmm.
All of this is going on inside of your body and it's staying there and sitting there. It has no way to pass. And you keep eating foods that's causing that inflammation to stay in your body. And when you do that, again, as I said, it causes other things to happen. So the fact that you're focusing on anti-inflammatory diet, I think that's super powerful. I always tell people to shop the aisles and not the rows, and that's where a lot of your anti-inflammatory foods are. So eating whole foods, eating very, very lean meat and or wild caught meat. And then when you're going down that dairy aisle, not focusing on, the I don't even know. I haven't bought a gallon of milk in probably 10 years, but not focusing on the high fat dairy foods, maybe like a nut source for your milk or a plant based source for your yogurt and so forth. All of those things are going to help you when you're trying to keep the inflammation out of your body.
Yeah, it's interesting that you said that because for years now I've noticed that my body doesn't agree with a dairy. And
Mhm.
so, can you talk a little bit about um, food as an individual thing and diet as an individual thing as opposed to being generalized?
Yeah. So, what is super frustrating to me is when I will have someone say, "Well, I'm on XYZ program or this program, or I'm eating a keto diet or I'm eating paleo." Okay, but that may not be for you. Like everyone can't, well, first of all, we all need carbohydrates. So if you're eating keto, you need carbohydrates. Carbohydrates help your brain function, and you need to have your brain function. Carbohydrates also give you energy. It's the type of carbs that you eat. But you're right. Every diet is not for everyone. So for me specifically, when I was going through my transition or my trauma of 17 through 19, um, I found that I was intolerant of things like peaches and cabbage. And what was bananas and pineapples, things like that that I thought was quote unquote good for you. They are good for you, but they're not good for Stephanie. So it's really, really important that you figure out what foods work for your body and what foods may be causing you to hold on to inflammation. Even though shopping the aisles is a good idea, there may be some things in those aisles that aren't working for you. So what I do is I actually have clients track their food intake for about 30 days. It depends on the client. But you're not just tracking, oh, I ate a bowl of oatmeal. You're also tracking, I ate that oatmeal. This is how I felt after it. This is how I slept that night. And then you start to discover those patterns of things that may not work for your body. Um, and there's several books out there. I don't prescribe to 100% of every single book, again, because we're all so unique. But there's a book, Eat Right for Your Blood Type, that I think is also very, very beneficial because each blood type, based on the research in that book, each blood type needs to eat a little different as well. So it's a It's magic once you discover it, but it takes work. So you have to be willing to do the work, figure out what is working for your body, and then start to eliminate those foods. Every single person is custom. Your gut is different. If you have an identical twin, your gut is different from that person as well. So just going on a specific diet or eating according to a plan or according to a new fad is not for everyone, and it will not support your long-term health.
Thanks for joining us today. If you haven't yet done so, please subscribe and be sure to visit my website, awakentoyourpassion.com, for more resources. Shifting gears a little bit, one of the things I kept hearing on my own journey, going to the doctors to discover what was happening to me, is to limit stress, right?
Mhm,
Limit stress.
mhm.
Can you talk a little bit about that and stress and how the impact that it has on health?
Yeah, so that's a big one, and it's not it's easier said than done. So we have hormones, and we all know that, but one of the hormones in our body, cortisol, actually helps regulate the stress that's in our body. So I always look at it as three different levels. Like if you're at level one and you're stressed because someone's robbing your house, or it can even be a good stress. You're at a football game and you're super excited. Your body still feels that stress, but it goes away. Level two, maybe you're a little concerned about your kids or you're a little concerned about your job. That can go away, but it may be a little longer period of time. But often what we do is get caught in level three stress where all day, every day, we're worried about either our health or our finances or our children or what's going on in the world. And that type of stress actually impacts our body. It can cause us to hold on to weight, it can cause us to have heart disease, cancer, diabetes. So, eliminating stress from your body is super important as well. But just like with the type of food that you eat, elimination of stress needs to be custom. So, Nick, you and I were talking about we're both introverts. So,
Yeah.
I'm an introvert with a what do I call it? With a fake side of extrovert. Like I can get in front of 1,000 people and talk no problem, but like then I don't want to
Yeah.
talk to anyone for like 30 days, kind of thing. So stress along with your diet is often custom. So for me, a good stress reliever is just sitting alone, reading a book, meditating, um, just kind of complete silence is a good stress reliever for me. But I know people who a good stress reliever for them would be having 20 friends over, a party that they completely relax because they have all their loved ones around. Me, I'm like, oh my gosh, people are here. I got to do all this other stuff. So it's super important that you figure out what is stressing you, and you have to get completely honest with yourself about what is really stressing you, and then determine how you are going to manage and or rid yourself of that stress. If that stress is a person, it may be that you need to step away from that relationship or from that opportunity. If that stress is your kids, it may mean you need to have different conversations with them, but figuring out what the root cause is and then coming up with a solid solution, that is going to help. So part of my recovery journey was stress related, and the stress was so bad that it actually the person that was stressing me out was actually sitting on my sciatic nerve. So when I started to uncover like the root cause of the stress, why I was stressed out, who was stressing me out, what situations prompted the stress, when I started working on that, I started to find more and more relief around my sciatic nerve. So it can, while you're thinking that it's just, oh, it's stress, everyone is stressed, it can actually impact different parts of your body. And I always challenge folks that have lots of migraines, sciatic, back pain, just go a little deeper and discover if there's a trigger or if there's someone or something that's triggering you, and then work from there and discover how you can eliminate that so you can eliminate the stress from your body.
Sure. Thank you for that. So going back to your what you do, you talk about peeling back the layers
Mhm,
down to the DNA.
mhm.
Can you talk a bit about that and
Yes.
what it means?
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Yeah, sure. So I think one of the most important things is also when you work with an accountability coach. So as you said, I work with midlife women who, and I help them get the body they desire and the confidence they deserve. But I can't do that just by handing them off some program that everyone is using. I have to figure out what exactly is going on with them externally and internally. And that's what I mean by peeling back the layers down to the DNA. When you work with me, it depends on what is going on. I will actually get testing, have testing done. So I've had most of my clients do a hair mineral analysis, and that's the basic tests. Like if you have
Mhm.
excess copper in your body, that may mean that your estrogen levels are off, and that test can just give a whole bunch of hints as to what's going on, so we can work on those root causes and get
Mhm.
you to where you need to go. Because just changing what you eat, there's a whole bunch of other stuff you need to change too. So again, that's peeling back the layers down to the DNA. I've had a client with MS, that was her autoimmune. We had to do a stool analysis for her because the hair mineral test, it would have helped. But the stool analysis got a lot deeper, and we were able to
Mhm.
discover some dietary deficiencies, some gut health issues, and some supplements that she needed to start to take. And along with working with her, so I provide her with the information. She gives that back to her primary care physician. Her primary physician said, okay, yeah, that those are the test results are great, and that's exactly what you need to do. So in conjunction with the primary, I was able to help her peel back some additional layers, and she started things that she wasn't able to do prior. She was able to start doing because we'd gotten down to that root cause. We weren't just changing what she ate. So I think that's really, really important when you're working with an accountability partner, a nutrition strategist, or someone who's helping you change your diet. They need to better understand what's actually going on internally before they can help you come up with a solution. So that's what I do.
Okay. I'm interested in knowing why you focus on midlife women.
Because I'm one.
Yeah.
So I think we are at a unique age and stage. So I was one of those women that like, oh, we're going to a wedding in 2 weeks. All right, I'll exercise for a week and a half, eat differently, and then I'll be able to fit in that dress. And then all of a sudden, I'm like, oh wait, that doesn't happen in 2 weeks anymore. And the
Mhm.
more I start to talk to other women, they also like, yeah, I used to be able to do X, Y, Z, but now I can't get rid of the bloat in my stomach. I'm having hot flashes. Um, their libido is lower, no sex drive, like all of that starts to happen. And I've started to get into that phase of my life where I'm more able to understand what is going on. And by changing my stress level, by changing, watching the way that I eat, and I don't do it 100% perfectly, I'm about 80%. But making those changes, I've been able to transition through this midlife phase with
Mhm.
little to no consequences. If I have a hot flash, it's because I have like celebrated too much and eaten a lot of sugar and or kombuchas. I know that if I drink a lot of kombucha, which is a good probiotic for your body, but for me personally, it gives me hot flashes. So I know the triggers and things that are going on with midlife women. So that's why I decided to support them. And I have to do more research. So that research, it helps me as well. So those are my people right now. Those are my people.
Okay, that's good. So for people who are looking to transition into healthier eating and wellness habits, like what would you recommend as like initial steps?
Yeah, so they're just the basics that you see every day on probably a ton of different blogs. Try to get in 10,000 steps per day. Try to, or, transition up until you're getting to 10,000 steps per day. Making sure that you're starting your morning with water and some lemon, a little bit of lemon squeezed in your room temperature water. Just watching what you eat. Again, shopping the aisles, stop shopping the rows, get rid of the processed foods. If you don't buy a can of soup, make a whole big pot of soup and then freeze it in little bags. Like starting to cook at home, eating more healthy foods, eliminating processed foods, exercising, drinking water throughout the day. All those things are things that we already know, but I think we have to work on the mindset part of why we aren't doing what we already know we need to do. I think that is key to helping people get started.
Yeah, so you mentioned the mindset part of it, right?
Hmm.
Oftentimes when we're going through these transitions, like, if we're have a family, how does that impact every, everything? Like, can you talk a little bit about that
Yeah.
part of it?
That too is individual. So I'm super fortunate that the way that it impacted my family when I was sick is it just made everyone come closer together. I can remember like that one Mother's Day, like usually I'm out digging on Mother's Day, like redoing my garden or my flower garden and so forth. And I remember one more Mother's Day, I had to sit on the front porch and watch. I have three adult sons, had to watch my sons do that because I wasn't able to. So it brought my family super super close. It's different for everyone. So that's again something individual that you'll have to work on. But as it relates to even getting ready to change your habits,
Mhm.
I so my method is called the Mind Body Business Method, and it's on my website, Stephanie Lynn Shaw. You I start off with mindset. So, why are you eating? Is it emotional? Is it something that happened in your childhood? Is it a behavior that you're just used to? Every Sunday we go to grandma's and eat, I don't know, 12 pounds of pasta or, greens and cornbread and so forth. Like, what are the behaviors that got you to where you are? And how do you get past those behaviors? Is it procrastination? Like, have you started the diet before and then you keep putting off the meal planning and so forth? Or is it like me? So for me personally, I know the reason I eat and when I snack, it's all boredom related. But I know that now, so I can actually talk myself through it. Like, oh man, you're just bored. Go for a walk, pick up a book, call a friend. So helping people get to that root cause of what's going on in your mind, I that's one of the key, along with gut health, that's one of the key things to helping women lose weight, have more energy, and sleeping better at night. And that's part of the work that I do as well. So while we're waiting for the test results to come back and we're starting the process of eating healthier foods and eliminating the automatic no-nos, we're doing work on why are we why are we here? What is this conversation going to look like? And how can you get past some of those emotional triggers? So mindset plays a huge role in the work that I do, and I think plays a huge role in getting people to accomplish their goals, whatever those goals are.
Okay. You talk about turning pain into purpose.
Hmm.
Can you talk about that and what it means?
Yeah. For to me, it was the 2 years that I spent sick, not feeling well, like coming home. I usually could work till 2 or 3, where I would usually work 10 to 12 hour days. I probably get in a good 6 hours, maybe no, an okay 6 hours, and I would come home, sit on the couch. Or sit in a chair in my bedroom, watch TV, and just sit there trying to get enough energy for the next day. So that was part of the painful process I was going through. The why is this happening? What is going on? Um, why is my body retaliating? Why is my body not working the way that I need for it to work? That was the pain that I was going through. The financial pain of going from 18 different doctors to world-renowned medical facilities, the finances of having my husband not miss work or having me miss work. It was just a lot of of internal and external pain. But through all of that, my prayer life went to like 1,000,000%. Me studying scriptures, me recognizing that there was other work that I needed to do in order for me to get through this. It wasn't as God was definitely not punishing me. God was polishing me, is what I say. So part of what I've always wanted to do is find something as it relates to food to help people. Or, for a while I wanted to do a cookbook. I had a food blog for a while. I sold Pampered Chef with, if you guys don't know what that is, that's like a multi-level marketing thing, but basically it's selling cookware and you go to people's homes and cook. So I've always wanted to do something in food. So the fact that I was able to heal my body with food and now take that and help other women heal their body through food, that's now what I strongly believe is part of my purpose. So all of the pain that I had to suffer for those 2 years, like I wouldn't have sat there and studied as intensely secular things nor scriptural things if I wasn't sat on my butt for 2 years. So that pain turned into my purpose of supporting women.
Yeah, thank you for sharing that. Um, can you tell us a little bit more about yourself and what you do, how you support women in their midlife, and how people can find you?
Sure. So I again you can find me on stephanielynshaw.com. That's my website. And on my website it has all of my social links as well. But on Instagram I'm at Mind Body Business Method. So I work with women over a 4 month period of time. Again, as I said, we start off with some type of DNA analysis, and then we start working on mindset, and then transition over that 4 months into getting your hormones healthy and your metabolism healthy, and helping you decrease the inflammation in your body. That's one on one that we work together during that time. And I'm always open to having conversations with folks if they want to figure out if that's a right fit for them. That's also when you need an accountability partner. Some people just need the information like, hey, I just need the hair analysis and I just need all of the videos and the trainings that you've put together and I can do it on my own. That's the second way that you can work with me. And then there's some people that just kind of need to know who I am, learn a little bit more about me. And so I've just created a course, and the course is called Unlock the Secret Weight Loss. And you can find that on my website as well. So if you're just kind of like, she sounded like she may know a little bit, but I want to know a little bit more about her. There's also that course you can start. So those are three different levels that people can work with me.
Oh, awesome. Well, anything else you want to share?
Yeah, yeah, no. First of all, thank you so much. Thank you for this opportunity to speak with your guests. I, yeah, I do. One last thing is your health is super, super important. I will tell you to take it seriously so that it does not start to kick your butt because once it does, it's not a fun journey. And doing simple things like eliminating processed foods, stop drinking soda, just things that you already know. Start doing those things. And even if you're not doing it at 100%, just start the process. Maybe you're doing 30% good now and then take that up to 50%. Start somewhere and you will be amazed at how you start to think better, sleep better, have more energy, and so forth. So, again, thank you so much, Nick, for having me on your podcast.
Sure thing. And thank you for being a guest and sharing all the wonderful information that you did. So, our learning outcome for today is to recognize that we are individuals with different needs. And so, it's important to advocate for ourselves and the needs that we have as individuals. So, recognizing those things, first of all, and then speaking up, regardless of what the majority and society says as a group. Advocate for yourself. Again, thank you for joining us today on Awaken with Me. If you haven't yet done so, hit that subscribe button so that you will get new content every 2 weeks. And also be sure to visit my website, awakentoyourpassion.com, for more information and resources. Until next time, take care.